Let's go.
From Nintendo and Illumination.
The Super Mario Brothers can take care of the kingdom.
Comes a super-powered adventure. On April 1st.
Pack our things.
The galaxy gets even bigger.
He knows that's my bike, right?
Yes.
The Super Mario Galaxy movie. Rated PG. Only theaters April 1st. Get tickets now.
What is Cafe Mocha? Cafe Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is In Vogue.
This is India Ari.
So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha with Lonnie Love. Yo, I'm Angelique. On the way, longtime political talk show host Joy Reid, and helping us laugh off some of this stress, comedian Lavell Crawford.
It's Cafe Mocha. On the line, my comedy brother, Lavell Crawford. He's always on tour, but he's currently in the movie Happy Gilmore 2. He also has this comedy special, I Could Eat Part 2 on Amazon. Can we talk about your comedy special? And how do you come up with the material for your special, Lavell?
Man, well, you as a comic yourself, if you don't talk about your life, you really ain't no comedian. See, I think that's what gives me the edge in comedy is because I ain't afraid to talk about me and my experiences. It's easy to talk about, Donald Trump, blah, 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 blah. But if you get up there and tell somebody about, how you used to eat at Waffle House and you had 4 pork chops and they missed one of your pork chops, you had to go back and your heart almost stopped after eating them that night and you almost died and you can make a joke about it, and you still finish them pork chops off with that waffle, that's when, that's when you can bring it real. So, and the thing about it is all my specials are all, if you watch them, from I always put in them in a category, like the first one I said, it was called Can a Brother Get Some Love, and that one was because I was on Last Comic Standing, man, and I took second runner up. I thought I was gonna win, but after that I still didn't think I was famous. And then the next one I did was I believe was Home for the Holidays, and that was like, going home, seeing my mom and doing jokes about all holidays. I write for seasons, I write for anything. And then, then before that, I had weight loss surgery, and I had lost like 150 pounds. So I did the joke about the new looks ain't funny, because the new looks ain't funny was people like, man, you gonna lose that weight, you ain't gonna be that funny no more. I said, man, the fat never carried the jokes. I just joked about the fat. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when you do that, people think that's all you got is fat jokes. I said, man, I talk about everything. If you watch some of my show, you'd be amazed. Like, man, this dude don't even really talk about his weight. He talks about everything involved, and he might add a little accent to that. And that, I couldn't live off fat jokes the rest of my life. Right. So I did that, and then I did the comedy vaccine because we was in COVID. I shot one in COVID. That's the one that got nominated for a Grammy, and I was like, dang, I had to wait till a world-stopping disaster to get nominated for a Grammy. So I said, man, did all the comedians, I'm joking, but I was joking. I was like, did all the comedians die? And my name was on the list. Is he still around?
Okay.
And, because getting nominated, that's crazy, but it was a great honor to get nominated. I ain't win, but I was there. I was at the show. But
okay.
And then then it's just like every one of them is just like a transition of life. Like, I came back with the Lavell, and my son, he came and he'd be on the shows with me, and then I let him go up and open up for me. Like Camping Vaccine was his first one, and then D. Lavell, I let him come back and do something, just because it's like D. Lavell, this is me, I am Lavell, and then he's Lavell Jr. So I was just making sure, that he get his name out there too. So, and that was in New Orleans. All of them came with a transition of jokes, just talking about, and that's how I write, is, answering your question. And I got jokes like this last one I did, I could eat. It's all the things that I joke about, all the stuff that I used to love to eat before the weight loss surgery that I can't eat no more because my stomach ain't as big. So, and then it was so good, we did 2 parts. So part 2 is out there now. I did 2 parts. I did 2 hours on there, man, because I could talk about food all day. But so that's where I get all my jokes from, because I'm about to write a new one, a new special. About to do a new special coming up since Happy Gilmore came out. It's gonna be about fatherhood and being a husband and everything about that stuff. So, it just, you just talk about life, man. Comedy comes off of that.
Your writing is impeccable, though. Your writing is so down home and it's impeccable. Yo-Yo, you wanted to ask something?
Listen, I'm just listening to you. Of course, I had to mute my mic the whole time. I'm over here dying. Okay,
she is.
My glasses are fogging up. You are truly, and to hear you speak and to hear your comedic tone and just to be such a natural. I'm really a fan. I've been a fan, but I'm truly even more a fan today. Talk about legacy and your blessing. What's something that you want to do that you haven't done yet?
Well, I mean, I want to write, direct, and act in my own movies, and I can do that, man. I think I hit the pinnacle. I mean, because basically that's why I wanted to be in Happy Gilmore too, so I could talk to Adam about producing my movie. I didn't care how I get in. It's good to have somebody with some power, that can get you in. So hopefully we'll be able to do this, because I wrote a movie, because my son plays AAU basketball, and it's such an untapped market because people don't really talk about it, all the stuff that go on in it. So I want to do that, and I mean that's where I'm at. I think maybe a sitcom for about 3 years. That's as long as I want to be on. I mean, of course, you've been doing y'all thing like Lonnie movies and Yo-Yo rap star. Plus, you was Hoot Key Lolo on Martin, on one of the greatest sitcoms ever. And so it's like that's my dream, to put a sitcom around my life, but it got to make sense. You know what I'm saying? And things about sitcoms now, like, it's you can see them out there, but it's not a lot of them no more because of all the streaming coming in. So I don't know if there's any room for it anymore.
Yeah, we'll see though. It's Cafe Mocha on the line.
Check him out on Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Happy Gilmore too. Plus he's on stage this weekend in Vegas. We got more with Lavell Crawford coming up.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha with Emmy Award-winning talk show host Lonnie Love, the West Coast hip-hop diva Yo-Yo. I'm the producer, Angelique. On the line, he had a regular role on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. He's in the new Happy Gilmore too, and on stage this weekend in Vegas. We're talking to Lavell Crawford.
My comedy brother, Lavell Crawford, having a wonderful conversation about his career, his legacy. Talking about your weight loss transformation in 2016. Can we talk about that? And it was very successful, because for some people, it's, they have weight loss surgery like myself, and it's not successful.
Well, I mean, we had the weight issues. I had the weight issues, and I think mine is successful because I'm bar none smaller than I was when I started out, because I look at some of my pictures, I'm like, Lord, I should have popped a long time ago. I was like, ooh, I said, boy, I don't even know how you made it this long, but I mean, now I move a lot better, and I'm older, I'm in my 50s now, so it's kind of time to take it down a notch, And now when I take a nap, I'm grown. I gotta take a nap. Back then, I'd take a nap and I'm walking down the street, and I see some of these young people out here that still be trying to, be big, and I be like, man, it's not. And when I did the weight loss surgery, baby sister, she the one that inspired me, because she got hers done. And I mean, she was beautiful before the weight loss. We don't do it for aesthetics. We do it, I think, it's just to, give yourself a little more time on this earth to finish some things. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, in my house, man, my sister did it. And then I went right behind her and did it. Then my mom did it. And man, and I think we haven't looked back. I'm always gonna be a big guy, but I'm a healthier big guy. I'm in a better position and I feel better. I mean, I ain't think I was gonna ever be Mr. America. I walk around, ooh, look at Lavell, walk around in Miss Speedo. No, I ain't gonna do that. I get arrested, and I look all right with my shirt off and I put my pants up my belly button, but if they come down on that belly button, I look like melted caramel up in his mouth. So,
did you change any of your eating habits? Like, you talked about a lot of Burger King, KFC, all this other stuff with the surgery, the gastric bypass surgery. Did you change your eating habits?
Well, yeah, you have to transition a lot. One thing my lovely wife does, she does a lot of juicing. I mean, it's so weird because I lived in California for 11 years before they got up there. But the weird thing about when I was in California, if I'd just stayed on a steady pace, I probably wouldn't have needed weight loss surgery, because, California, man, you can eat bad or you can eat good down there. They got so many vegan restaurants. They got clean restaurants. Then they got, oh, well, hell with it, I'm finna eat what I want today restaurant. And then you got so many gyms, because I was going to boot camp and doing jiu-jitsu and everything. So I was working on it. But when you move away from that city, and you down like in Texas where they got stuffed crab, stuffed shrimp, stuffed chicken, and it's all in a hush puppy, and you sit up there, you sit up here like, give me 5 of them, And Texas, you can eat good down here, and you're gonna regret it in the morning. So. So you had to, it was better for me, and changing my eating habits. Because like now I do my best to fast twice a week. And my wife makes a lot of green juices. She do celery and apples. And we juice. And I mean, you drink that juice, you'll flush out everything you ate since last Wednesday.
Okay.
You gonna go on that dog. We do watermelon juice. I mean, and her moving out there changed her ways, because she was living in Mississippi and everything, and she's from Chicago. Chicago got every food in the world up there. Chicago got a grocery store. If y'all ever up there, go to Pete's Market. Pete's got a hot bar out there. Lord have mercy. It got so many different food items, lamb chops, everything. You lose your mind at Pete's. But I mean, Chicago just got such good eats. They just as bad as New York and something like that in Texas. And so, she changed her eating habits, and and she, is like hiking, and that's the only part I didn't like her picking up is hiking, because I ain't trying to get lost in no woods out there. Cause they'll look for white folk, they ain't look for black folk. Nancy Grace ain't gonna say nothing about Lavell Crawford and his wife Deshawn stuck in the canyon, and we out there fighting off mountain lions and grizzly bears. Ain't nobody come to see. We gotta get out of the woods ourselves.
Talking about your lovely wife, Deshawn, you've been married for 15 years. Congratulations. I mean, that is wonderful. How did y'all meet, Lavell?
And strange enough, we met at a show. I was doing the Browner Brothers hair show down there in Atlanta. And I was down there, it was during Valentine's Day, which is strange, and I was the headliner, and I was going up last, but everybody on the show was being kind of pretty raw. And then, 'cause I think Rodman was on the show, Pat Brown, I think Benji was on, I forgot who, Tony Roberts, it was a heck of a show. But I was headlining, but they made me go last. Everybody was up there talking about whatever they want to. That lady gonna come and tell you better not cuss. You better not. I was like, wait a minute. Now everybody went up and cuss. I can't cuss. And so I said, cool. I ain't tripping off that. I can do clean. So I went up and do it clean. But I went up so late because they had so many doggone comedians on the show. People started walking out, and my feelings was getting hurt. Like, I was like, man, hold on, man. This lady had already handcuffed me with the language, and now everybody walking out, but they wasn't walking out. I thought they were walking out because of me, but they was leaving because, shoot, it was 1 a.m. And, and they had to catch, Browner Brothers had them buses for you to take you back to your hotels and stuff. So people had to get the heck out of there. And lo and behold, after the show, I was in, Damon Williams was on the show too. And I was like, man, give me back to my room, man. I'm pissed off, man. They just played me, blah, blah, blah. I felt like Prince in Purple Rain. Like, remember Purple Rain where he did it Purple Rain and he thought he didn't do good, but then they called for an encore. It wasn't actually the same, but they said, but there was a bunch of people out there that wanted to see me, and she was one of the people, that wanted the picture, and we was, it was just a bunch of people that took a picture, and we met, and we had I thought she was gorgeous then, and it was Valentine's Day, and we, lo and behold, we met her, we started talking, we got a phone number and talked to her on the phone, and we stayed on the phone all night, all day. Wow. And we went through a little transition, and man, we wound up getting married, wound up putting a baby on her, and she had two kids. She had 2 kids when we got married, who are my kids I love. And we've been together a long time. I mean, we had our ups and downs, and I mean, marriage is a blessing more than people think. It has its quirks, but as a man, you have to work through them. A woman will work through them. A man be like, man, I ain't doing all that. But after a while, you go, man, there ain't nothing out there. I mean, the way these doctors making men into women now, you don't know what you're getting. So I ain't trying to get caught up.
Lavell, you know what, Lavell, what we love so much about you is from your stand-up comedy, you've always been someone who has been raw, real, and you gave comedy a real sense of yourself. Were you able to do that? Is there a difference between stage and being an actor? Are you still able to bring a little bit of Lavell with you?
Well, I got to, because I am not a thespian. I can't get up there like Denzel and do some Ivanhoe or Hamlet. I gotta bring the good old country gravy and biscuit kind of comedy that Lavell come with, man. I gotta come my way, because I mean, there's no way I could fake the little cry, but it's gotta be real. It's gotta be a reason why I do something, and I took it. God bless you. What was that, a sneeze?
I'm laughing over here.
That's her laughing, Lavell.
I thought it was a bark. I didn't know what the hell that
I
was.
know, me too. I was like, what is she doing over there?
I think she raising pit bulls. What's going on?
I'm trying to hold back my laughter. I mean, because it's like this all the time. Lonnie says something, I have to mute my mic because I'll just crack up. What you guys don't understand, laughter. I mean, just to say one word and we're cracking up, and here I am. My mic is open. I can't hold myself.
Oh man, ain't nothing wrong with hey, laugh. Shoot, I like people to laugh. I hate people to analyze. I want you to have a good time. I had a fan at the show the other night. I was in I just got in off the plane today from Milwaukee, and it was one lady. She was laughing so hard in the back. People was looking at her crazy, like, "What's your problem?" I said, "You in a comedy club, dumbass."
That's right.
You know what you think? What you supposed to be doing? You supposed to be crying about missing her mama. She out there having a good time. I'm funny, Negro.
That's
you
right.
know.
I am laughing so hard. I'm over here. I'm looking at my paper. I said, "Now where is this comedy special?" Because I'm dead. I'm sure turn this thing on right after we finish. When we finish, Could Eat Part 2 on Amazon. His comedy special. You can catch Lavell Crawford and Happy Gilmore 2 on Netflix. His cameo as Slim Peterson. I mean, this young man has done some amazing things. I love to hear you talk. I can listen to you talk forever. I know our guests are enjoying and cracking up in their cars right now because I had to keep mine on mute. Your comedy brother, Lonnie Love, you guys, I mean.
I'm a brother.
Your comedy brother. Your comedy brother. He's your comedy brother.
You know, we have really enjoyed this conversation, Lavell. You have to come back anytime. You're welcome back into Cafe Mocha. Sorry it took so long, but how can we keep up with you, keep up with your tour dates? Give us the details.
Well, I mean, basically, I got a website, a new website called The Lavell. We got to update it. But I put pretty much all my dates on there. And I mean, and you just Google Lavell, it'll tell you all my business. That's how the IRS find out where I'm at. But, I mean, also you can go to my Instagram, Lavell the Comic, on Instagram, or Lavell Crawford on Facebook, and just number one in the country right now. So if people enjoying it, so I want y'all to keep on watching. I had a big old part in that movie, so we had fun, and so just come out and thank you, lovely ladies, for letting me be on the show. I appreciate the great Yo-Yo, the great Lonnie Love, and Miss Angelique. I'm sure you're great too, but so.
I love it. We appreciate you. Congratulations on everything, Lavell. You work so hard. You're so talented. You're so funny. You deserve all the blessings. And please tell your wife I said hello. And thank you so much again.
I will. Thank you, Lonnie. Congratulations on all your blessings, and keep on pushing. All y'all guys got you covered, and stay on this path and everything will shine.
That's right.
I'm over here clapping. I love
it. That was great, Lavell. Thank you so much.
You hear me? You're one of my favorites.
No problem.
I mean, I've always been a fan, but you got a real fan now. I'm really a fan. This was so amazing. Thank you for entertaining our listeners.
Thank you, sister. I've always been a fan too. Thank you so much.
Peace.
Have a good day. Thank you, Lavell.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Check out Lavell and his comedy special, I Could Eat Part 2. It's on Amazon Prime. If you don't have that, it's free on Tubi. We're having conversations for the culture on Cafe Mocha.
We're at Cafe Mocha Radio. Socially savvy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Serving up more Cafe Mocha on the way.
Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
UNITY, UNITY, that's a unity.
It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha with Lonnie Love, Yo-Yo, and our producer, Angelique, on the line. She is an award-winning journalist and best-selling author. She launched her new show, The Joy Reid Show, to continue using her platform, influence, and voice to cover issues, especially the ones that mainstream media will ignore. Please welcome, for the first time to Cafe Mocha, Joy Reid. Hi, Joy.
Hey, Lonnie. How are you?
I am doing excellent. And you are definitely the person that our listeners love and need to hear from. I guess just going out the gate, the first question I want to ask is, how are you feeling politically and what's going on with our country?
I think it's pretty bad. I think it's pretty clear that we're in trouble. Our democracy's in trouble. The Republican Party has agreed with Trump that they're going to dismantle everything. Everything we gained in the 21st century is being dismantled, piece by piece. And Project 2025, I think at this point it's about 55% implemented. By the time they get to 100%, we won't be a democracy. So it's definitely a 911 moment.
And so now that it is this 911 moment, I'm just, for the regular listeners, what is it, Joy, that we can do to, join organizations, protests? In your opinion, what is it that we can do to try to speak out about what's going on in our country?
I think people are doing, the range of everything, right? I think the protests in the streets, you'll notice we are not there. As Black folks, we're really not showing up to that. That's mostly the white people. But I think that's appropriate. They're the one whose demographic voted for this. They're the ones who chose it, not themselves necessarily the ones in the streets, but it's their cousins, uncles, brothers, fathers. They're voted for it. We as Black women, we voted 92% the other way. We voted, please don't do this. And our, African-American men voted 80-20, please don't do this. So I think it is appropriate that it's white America that's in the streets. They need to put their bodies on the line because they won't get brutalized the way we will. They can actually yell at the police. They can challenge the police. And so I think it's good to see them challenging ICE when ICE shows up to take someone. I like seeing white Americans step forward, use their privilege, and challenge the police. I like seeing them in the streets marching. It's their turn. What African Americans, what Black folks we've been doing is really focusing on trying to protect our communities. And that's what we need to be doing, making sure that we're shoring up our Black colleges, make sure they have enough money to operate if the Department of Education tries to defund them, making sure our students have enough money to stay in school if their scholarships are deleted because the scholarship was based on them being Black students. Anything Black is under fire. Making sure that we're shoring up our own political leaders, right? Making sure that we're, if you're in a redistricted district like they are in Texas, now you really need to come out and vote to try to protect those seats and make sure that they're not stolen by Republicans who are gaming the system and gerrymandering these seats in Texas and Missouri. We're going to talk today on the podcast with 3 Missouri representatives who the same thing in Texas is happening to them. So we need to be in self-protection mode. If you're a doctor, you need to be thinking about how can I volunteer to provide medical services to Black folks who are going to lose Medicaid, or even if you are not in the Black community, poor folks who are going to lose Medicaid. So we're having to do everything to self-protect right now. And then we're seeing other communities do activism. For our Latino brothers and sisters, immigration lawyers need to be on point, protecting people from being deported, sent to foreign prisons, detained for weeks and weeks at a time. Lawyers are needing to step up and volunteer. This is like every hand on deck right now because there's so many needs. It's just hard to even put it, I could go on for another hour about what the needs are, but we have to, everybody do something that's in your power.
It's Cafe Mocha on the line, award-winning journalist, Joy Reid. Joy, what is your take on the Democratic Party's strategy heading into this next election?
I think the Democrats are not ready for this moment. I think that they still are trying to do politics and believing that politics still exists and that they can just react to this politically. I don't think their message has been updated for the times we live in. Unfortunately, I think there are a lot of really great Democrats. Jasmine Crockett, phenomenal. Al Green, phenomenal. There are some great Democrats. Ayanna Pressley, Summer Lee. We're seeing the ones who get it step up. I think AOC is good. but not enough of the leadership understands. I think, unfortunately, the leadership is behind the times. They think this is still we'll just fight in the next midterm. We're not going to have a free and fair election in 2026. So we need to be thinking about that. Trump is already gaming the next midterm. He's he's one step ahead of them. And, deploying the military into our streets in key Democratic-led cities, particularly cities led by Black mayors, note that the deployments are scheduled to go through November. And there's a reason they still want the military and federalized police on our streets in November, because there's an election this November. And this is a test run, I think, for next November to have a full military deployment on our streets when people are voting. So it ain't good. And I don't think the Democrats really have caught up on what's happening.
Definitely. The thing that we love about you, Joy, is that you're using your platform and you're continuing to use your platform to speak out, to give us the analysis that we need. You're also the co-host of the Read This, Read That podcast with my girl, Jackie Reid. I love you both. Can you tell us a little bit about that podcast and why is it such a great platform for you?
Well, in all these times, all that I just gave you was the bad news, but we, have a history in this country of dealing with this and far worse. Obviously, far worse. Our people have been through hell in this country, in the Caribbean, in Africa, the diasporal community, we've been through it. And we know that we don't just respond with fear, we respond with action and with joy. And so what we do on Read This, Read That, my soror sister, cousin, friend, Jackie Reid, we are play cousins. We've been friends for over a decade. We've, been ride or die for a really long time. So we got together and we did this podcast many, many years ago. And we started it really just as stress relief and a girlfriend time for ourselves. And it's expanded to what we call the cousin nation. So the folks who listen to Read This, Read That, we all consider ourselves to be cousins in the community. And we just use it to wind down. We use it to just be, relax, let our hair down, even though I don't have any hair anymore. We just let our hair down, talk girl stuff, talk entertainment. We do give people what you need to know. We try to stay up on what's happening in the news, but also just talk fun stuff. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just need a moment. We need to have a cocktail and just be us and just be girlfriends and have fun. So we use that as our safe space where we can actually just chill and relax. And so Read This, Read That is a lot of fun. It's every Thursday. It's on YouTube. We also have a Substack. And so we try to just keep it light. It's our little fun podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, then that's something that we actually need. This is Cafe Mocha. We're talking to Joy Reid. She also has a new show called The Joy Reid Show. And that's a little more serious, right?
It's a lot more serious, yeah. So 3 days a week on The Joy Reid Show, which you can find on YouTube at thejoyreidshow.com. It's also on Substack. We live stream it both to YouTube and Substack. And The Joy Reid Show is more like what I did at what it used to be called MSNBC. It's now Ms. Now. They've changed their name, which I don't understand that, but okay, the Ms. Now. But when I was working there on MSNBC, I tried to give people, this is the news straight, no chaser. But now it's even straighter, no chaser, because I'm not now bound by the corporate governance of a corporate environment. It's just me and our little team trying to give y'all what you need to know. We cover the news. We cover the Trump regime. We cover the Epstein files. We cover all the things Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then Fridays, we just go live and talk to the chat and try to get a little bit of, lighter topics when we can. But we really are covering the serious issues that are happening in the country today.
More with Lonnie Love and Joy Reid coming up on Cafe Mocha. You can check out the Cafe Mocha podcast by going to mochapodcastnetwork.com. If you didn't hear our interview with Judge Faith, you gotta hear it. She goes in on the people spreading lies about her on YouTube. Go to mochapodcastnetwork.com. This week, Joy Reid talked to the newly inducted mayor of New York. Check it out on YouTube. We've got more coming up on Cafe Mocha.
Here's your dose of espresso. Strong, hot news now.
This is The Espresso. I'm Angelique. Pennsylvania just became the 28th state to pass the Crown Act. It basically says we can't be discriminated against for wearing our natural hair, braids, locks, bantu knots. But at least one black lady ain't having it. Check her out on Roland Martin.
There are 1.4 million black people in the state of Pennsylvania. Hair racism affects 916 of them. What about the other 1.3 million of us who are sending our children to failing schools? That is what I care about.
And in case you didn't hear, hair relaxers are killing us.
those who used chemical hair relaxers for many, many years or many times per year had about a 60% increased risk of developing uterine cancer compared to those who never used chemical hair relaxers or who used them only occasionally.
Lots of good TV returning in January. Next week, Idris Elba is back with season 2 of Hijack on Apple TV Plus. And finally, Bridgerton. The first 4 episodes hit Netflix on the 29th, and you will not be disappointed. That's the Espresso.
UNITY, UNITY, that's a unity.
It's Cafe Mocha.
Lonnie Love is talking to political talk show host Joy Reid on Cafe Mocha. Let's jump back in.
I mean, do you realize it's like maybe you, Roland Martin, every now and then the Breakfast Club. I mean, you all are the only people that is really helping the culture and the community understand what's going on. Do you feel a responsibility for that?
Absolutely. And, Don and Uncle Roland, like we all, I think, feel the same way, is that, our community is in jeopardy. When, America catches a cold, Black folks get pneumonia, right? Everything that they want to do to this country, they want to do mainly to us. The whole anti-DEI thing. Yeah, white women are the main recipients of DEI, but they're really focusing on Black women and on Black people. 300,000 Black women have lost jobs just since January. They're deliberately removing us from positions of power. Lisa Cook from the Fed, they're going after her for no reason. They're going after Letitia James. We just actually interviewed her for the show. They're going after us. They're going after our cities, the places where our people are mayors. And so Don and Roland, I think all of us feel the same way. We have a special responsibility to inform our community. The worst thing we can do is check out completely. Yes, we need we need to do our fan dance and we need to get boots on the ground and relax and let our hair down, but we also need to be informed. And so I think it's really, really important that we not check out. This is not the time to do that. We need to super inform ourselves because this nightmare is going to hit us hardest, because they're not just trying to dismantle the 21st century. They're dismantling the things we gained. They're especially angry that Black folks achieved something close to equality, and they want to go back to a world where we are not equal. So if we stand back and let them do it, that's on us.
What do you say to that person, Joy, that's afraid? Because a lot of people, I think, are afraid to speak up or afraid to move, or they think it'll, like you said, they just won't do anything. What do you say to that person?
I mean, I would say that, if you have a good reason to be afraid, if you're not crazy to be afraid, that's not crazy. And unfortunately, I'm Gen X. We weren't raised by our, boomer parents to be prepared to fight another civil rights movement. I think that generation convinced themselves that we wouldn't have to. So unfortunately, we're having to learn skills that we didn't have. But our ancestors built us for this, even though we were not trained for it. And, the people who came before us were even more afraid than we are. We have far more resources technologically. We are able to communicate with one another in a lot more direct way. We don't have to secretly meet in churches, even though we may have to go back to that. But we have all these resources and we have all these tools that our ancestors didn't have. Just unfortunately, because America is always Americaning, we're going to have to refight some of these fights. And so it's fine to be afraid. It means that you're aware. It means you're staying woke. So there's nothing wrong with being afraid, but fear is not an excuse for doing nothing. We still have to act, because I'm sure our ancestors were terrified, but they still had to take action.
We're having conversations for the culture. We've got more with journalist Joy Reid coming up on Cafe Mocha.
Want a little more of our flavor? Stay right there. It's Cafe Mocha.
Lonnie Love is talking to political talk show host Joy Reid on Cafe Mocha. Let's jump back in.
And, like you mentioned, over 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs. And you are a woman that, publicly lost a huge job, but you were able to recover. Is there any advice you want to give to these women that are probably going through the ups and downs of a job loss?
I would say the first thing you have to do is let yourself feel your feelings. You're probably feeling in shock. You're probably feeling angry. You're probably feeling sad, down, depressed. All that is normal. And you should allow yourself to feel that. But while you're doing that, to me, before the firing happens, start making a plan for what you're going to do in your next career. Because we always have, look, I'm one of those, I'm Gen X, so even though we weren't built for civil rights movement, we always had 10 jobs. So we always had a backup job and a backup to the backup job. So I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset of saying, well, what else am I going to do? Even when I was working at Ms. Now, I was also writing books. I was also writing columns. I was always keeping my extra skill sets up so that I wasn't wholly dependent. I was teaching classes at Syracuse or at Howard. We always have to be prepared to stick and move. This is America. It wasn't built for us. It was built by us, and we've had to seize everything we have. So be prepared at any moment to have to do you and do something else. That's number one, so you're not always in shock. But then if it happens to you and you're just out here, just remember who you are. Remember what you are and how you gained what you had. It's because you're great. It's because of your greatness. It's because of your skills. It's why they feared you. It's why they wanted to remove you. And keep that in mind as you look for your next thing. You are already great. You were great, and they let you go because you were too great for them. So don't let it get you down forever. Let it get you down in the moment, feel your feelings, and then stand up, straighten your back, and move on and do what Black women do, survive.
Perfect. And before we let you go, you are the executive producer of a documentary with your husband titled When Everyone Swims. I saw the trailer. I think this is just wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, one of my other things we were always doing, we have a production company, Jason and myself, which is the production company that actually produces the Joy Reid Show. And one of the things that we were doing, even when I was at my other job, is executive producing projects that we cared about. So we could lend, our name, to it to try to help the projects go forward. And Gerald Harkness, who's our dear friend, he and Adrienne Lopez produced this incredible film. He also directed it. Gerald also directed it. And it's about a thing that is so important and is actually so kind of terrifying to a lot of us, including me. I'm terrified of deep water. And so a lot of us in the Black community can't swim. And some of it is because of fear. Some of it is history. Pools were not admitting Black people. They wouldn't even let us swim there. So a lot of young Black people don't learn to swim, or we live near the ocean but never travel to it because of limitations on public transportation. I mean, I lived in South Florida, and we met kids, when I was doing voluntary work, that kids who would, live 10 miles from the ocean and never been there. And then on top of it, there's also a stereotype that we can't swim or don't want to swim, but that's not true either. So we, in this film, When Everyone Swims, range everything from the discrimination against Black young people who want to swim to Black swimmers who are champions, Olympic champions, world champions. And then just the question in America writ large, even outside of our community, about swimming. And it's really important because drowning used to be the number one killer of children in America until it was replaced by mass shootings.
The title of the documentary is When Everyone Swims. We have been talking to Joy Reid. Please follow Joy Reid on all of her socials, or you can also follow her on her website, sign up, subscribe to her Substack. It's joyandreid.com. And thank you so much for your time, Joy. And thank you for all the work that you're doing to help keep us informed and keep us motivated. We love you, sis.
Love you, Lonnie Love. Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on, and God bless you. We gonna win. We gonna make it. We're gonna be all right.
We will. Thank you, Joy.
Okay, sis. Take care.
Catch the full conversation with comedian Lavell Crawford and journalist Joy Reid. It's on the podcast at mochapodcastnetwork.com, mochapodcastnetwork.com. That's the show. Until next time, you can find us on the socials at Cafe Mocha Radio. Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Super Radio. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.